Thank you very much for watching Master Jason Feng Shui. If you do remember in one of my Facebook videos, I have predicted that Taylor Swift will have some kind of great changes in terms of her relationship status in the year 2025 and 2026. And true enough, if we observe the news, we know that Taylor Swift is actually engaged to Travis Kelce in on this just 2 days ago, yeah, in the month of August. I believe it's like 26th of August. Yeah. So this news has become sending her fans into a frenzy, right? Because of course, right, Taylor Swift is very popular, and a lot of her fans are actually happy for her due to the fact that we when we look back at the history of Taylor Swift, she actually has gone through various heartaches or broken heartedness due to the many relationship problems that she has faced in the past. So today I will take this opportunity to revise again the Bazi chart of Taylor Swift and also to conduct a Bazi compatibility analysis so as to check whether their marriage is likely to be long lasting. Because to be honest, Taylor Swift actually is of the Dingwei Day Master. So when we look at Dingwei Day Master, it's actually called Yin Cha Yang Chuo in terms of bar trading. So without further ado, right? Let's quickly look at her bottle chart first. In terms of bottle reading, there is a school of thought called the Shen Sha. They are a form of stars that will tell you some meanings or some main characteristics of your bottle chart. And if we look at the bottle chart of Taylor Swift, she is actually born of the Dingwei day pillar. And in terms of bottle reading, Dingwei is a day pillar that is called Yin Cha Yang Chuo. This term is rather difficult to be translated into English, but I will try to write it down and to explain to you what it means by Yin Cha Yang Chuo. Right, this is called Yin Cha Yang Chuo. First look at these Chinese characters, we will know that Yin represents the Yin and Yang, the Yin. Well, Yang, of course, is the Yang energy, right? Of the, if you look at the Taoist diagram, we will always have this Yin and Yang. So if we are to consider this Yin Cha Yang Chuo, it means that the yin energy and the yang energy are actually at the wrong position. And usually people who have this yin cha yang chuo, let me just give you a very brief introduction. Some of the people will actually have this yin cha yang chuo at their birth chart. So if you find this yin cha yang chuo at your birth chart, most of the time, the relationships within your life are likely to be very chaotic. For example, people who have the Bing Wu, who have the Bing Zhi, Ding Wei, of course, this belongs to Taylor Swift, and Ding Chou, Mu Shen, Mu Ying, Xing You, Xing Mao, Ren Xu, Ren Chen, Kui Shi, and Kui Hai. All these day pillars would stand a higher chance of experiencing divorce, separation, or very challenging relationships in their life. And using Taylor Swift as an example as to tell you why, if we are to look at the Ding as a day master. All right, this is the Taylor Swift day pillar. First of all, we understand that in terms of female, for female gender, the direct officer and the seven killing will represent the husband or the boyfriend of that female gender of the Ding day master. And when we look at Ding, in terms of the 壬水, 壬water, it is actually her direct, what we call the direct officer. Nonetheless, if we are to look at the sequence of the 12 life stages, so perhaps I will write it down. 壬水至未宫为抚养。Quoting from ancient text, right? 行为备。And I will explain to you in English later on, yeah, so don't worry, right? 若吉。偏官为偏官为癸水，一行到尾。为入目。So what this Chinese classic text is telling us is that, whenever Ding Fire Day Master as a female gender is facing the Wei, this Wei day pillar, it means that 人 water, this 人 water here, which represents her husband, as according to the 12 life stages, the 12长生 in terms of Chinese, 人至于尾宫到了尾宫的时候呢，就会进入这个阳的一个状况是一个极弱的一个状态。In terms of the life stages, 12 life stages of 人 water when it's facing Wei, the 人 water energy will be extremely weak. And whether it's 人 water or 癸 water, 癸 of course is representing the boyfriends, right? Non-official male partners, boyfriend. Yeah, 癸 when it is facing Wei, it is also entering the tomb, right? 叫做墓死地所以嘛，不管丁伟呢，这个日元呢，它是见到壬水或者癸水的时候，它的能量都会非常的弱。这个就是我们阴差阳错的一个道理，也是很多人，如果呢你的八字有这个阴差阳错，尤其是你有这种我们叫做日元你都会在感情上面容易遇到很多挫折，或者感情上面有一个觉得有一个缺陷好像你跟你的配偶嘛，不管怎么样，好像貌合神离然后呢在一起总会吵架这种问题都容易会发生。So to explain in English one more time, if you are able to observe this 阴差阳错 star within your day pillar, you are prone to situations like divorce, breakup, quarreling with your spouse or partner, having misunderstanding, both of you not able to see eye to eye with each other. This will very often happen due to the fact that 阴差阳错 is always a situation like in Taylor Swift's case. The spouse would often be at a stage within the 12 life cycle. 12 life cycle is called the 12长生 in terms of path reading. You have to know the 12长生. So it's a little bit advanced, but this 神煞 called 阴差阳错 actually has a theoretical aspect to it. Thus, so I just repeat one last time. 丁 fire for husband is the run water. For boyfriend is the Kui water, theoretically. And both of them, when facing Wei, this Wei, which is storage, a wood storage, so to speak, it will diminish the energy of this rainwater and Kui water, causing this state pillar to have a very minimized or marginalized affinity with their life partner. 用华语再讲一下，就是说阴差阳错的都是感情上容易出问题了哈，所以有时候就用英语讲八字的东西真的有点困难坦白说，可是我会尽量Sometimes it's really difficult to explain 八字 reading in English, but also let's look at Taylor Swift's 八字 chart again. So she was born in 1989 in the month of December on the day of 13, and according to internet, I will just take it as the Mao hour, Mao. All right. So in terms of her 八字, we'll be having 子、巳、丙、子、丁未 and 癸卯. Right, so I will also quote Asian texts as the Asian classic 八字 theory, because I'm not someone who like to anyhow interpret our 八字chart. I will always refer back to the classic ancient text to give it a very thorough and proper interpretation. So I will write down what the ancient texts say about her 八字chart. 丁火见印于时卯，时癸得禄于体子。Sa, I will write it first, then I will explain to my viewers later on what does that mean, all right? Sa 透 gang 为旺. Sorry about my handwriting is a little bit untidy. 玉卯则泄于泄之于印，唯以卯木见水，则失。不足以引申爱丁，须有得地自营，透干之丙，则寒水自气，战。So please bear with me because this is the very proper way of interpreting a 八字 chart. So with the reference of ancient classic 八字 theory, we will be able to decode this chart in a more holistic manner. So I will try to explain to you 一大堆字可能你看不懂他是说丁火见卯玉时这个丁火见印丁火见印就是它的 the resource factor, right, of the 丁 fire is actually at this 卯 of branch. 时癸得禄玉子 means the 癸 water that is found within her 八字 chart is having a 化禄就是得禄呢是12长生的其中一个用词就是代表呢那个子水会把这个癸水变旺So it's basically saying that this 癸 water will be enhanced by the 子 water within her 八字 chart. 煞以透干为旺，玉卯则泄玉 之于卯。好，我们看得到它的命格是不是很多杀呢？其实是有有一个 OK， 这个癸水、这个子水都是它的杀，对不对？它是一个丁火生这个阴丁 fire。So there are actually 7 killing within her Bazi chart. And the month pillar is, of course, sitting at this yang water, right? So this yang water will be able to support this Kui water at the heavenly stems of the our pillar. 所以呢，它继续是什么呢？杀以透干为旺它的气杀是旺的Taylor Swift 它的八字的里面in terms of Taylor Swift 八字 chart, the seven killing factor is actually strong. 于卯则泄之于印玉卯则泄之于印唯以卯木见水则失因为呢这个七杀in terms of the seven killing, due to the fact that this seven killing here is actually a water element, so it will cause her chart to be very wet, right? So as according to ancient texts, we are able to decode her chart very holistically. So she indeed has a very wet chart. 不足以引申哀丁不足以引申哀丁遂续有得地之营 So in terms of her auspicious element is actually of wood element. 透干乙丙 Another element that will be auspicious to be observed within her Bazi chart is the 丙 fire. 则寒水之气暂烧 So with the presence of wood and fire, the wetness within her Bazi chart will be diminished or eliminated. So this is what he's trying to say. 而木火值得巩固矣. So what he's trying to say is that in terms of Taylor Swift Bazi chart, it will lead the auspicious element of, first of all, the wood element. And then secondly, the fire element. And I have mentioned many times in my previous YouTube videos, in my teaching of Bazi, that for a female member, for a female gender, whom is having a lot of seven killing or direct officer within her Bazi chart, you will often need to have your day master strengthened first. Then that is when you will be able to enjoy more positive relationships in life. And if we are to look at the year 2025, we are actually a 乙巳year. And additionally, 2026, it is 丙午. And 2027, it is 丁未. So by looking at Taylor Swift's chart, right, she's of 子时、丙子、丁未、癸卯. Yes, true enough, as earlier mentioned, she does have 阴差阳错 within her birth chart. She does have this 阴差阳错 at her Bazi chart. But still, when she is able to enter into yearly influence that will bring about a boosting of her day master strength, she will still be able to enjoy positive developments in terms of relationship. And not neglecting that the current decade trend that Taylor Swift is going through is called 子卯. And particularly from 2022 to 2026, this Mao wood will be able to strengthen her Ding Fire Day Master. At the same time, Mao will also have a combination relationship with this Wei whenever the spouse domain is having some kind of combination. It will refer to changes in relationship status. So that is the reason why we see that within the year 2025, especially towards the second half, which is dominantly of the 是 fire energy, right? This is a 是 fire. It will cause Taylor Swift to get engaged. If we remember the combination relationship of the fire combination, it is basically of the 四五位. We can further observe that the second half of 2025, right? Second half of 2025, it is also having a combination of the 四五位, which is a fire combination. 用华语再讲多一次啊，我们身弱的女性的八字，永远见到命格里面啊，永远见到很多七煞正官，通常他们的感情关系都会很容易出问题哈，尤其是女生。我们其实呢有句话叫做呢，官煞运杂。其实官煞运杂对女生的命格都不是说很好，会很容易出现感情的问题啊。那 Yvonne 跟Vanessa， 谢谢你的观看。This ancient text can be found in which ancient book？ 千里命千里提要就是魏千里写的啊。所以呢 ，Vanessa 是我的学生，所以他问这个问题啊，大家可能问我做什么？这个是韦千里说的哈。刚才我写下来那个比较好像古代这个文言文的这句话呢，是韦千里先生所说的。韦千里先生是我们八字的一个我们叫做算命非常出名的一个名人，可是他已经不在世界上了啊，他已经离世了啊。可是呢，他所说的东西都非常可靠啊，韦千里。其实你现在有记得吗？因为我们上课的时候有说过韦千里啊，千里那个千里提要嘛，对不对？千里提要就是韦千里先生所说的，他有把那个月份呢跟时间好像你是某一个日元的出生的，你是什么月份什么时间出生的，你就需要什么使用神或者需要避免什么东西哈，记不记得分享啊？所以呢，我们就能够OK 或者呢也说一下这个官煞运杂哈，其实呢，就是官煞运杂啊，我们叫做官煞运，有没有写错啊？我的词啊，总之说呢，一个女的命格，她是身弱的话哈，如果呢，好像 Taylor Swift 这种命格哈，丁火身弱，然后又见到壬水啊，又见到癸水很多啊，这种或者子水啊、亥水啊，都是容易感情出问题的。其实坦白的说哈，古书甚至会有时候说这些女生，有一些不好听的话，就是古书说一些不好听的话，可是不一定在现代生活里面可以 apply 的哈，有些话。可是说我只能够说他们是感情比较紊乱啊，感情是比较乱的。感情是比较乱，那 Taylor Swift 他的感情生活乱不乱？我不能够说乱不乱啊，可是他始终，他的命运里面嘛，就坦白的说有很多不同的男朋友嘛，对不对？他曾经有遇过很多的感情，可是到结果他都是跟他们分手的一个结果哦。或者就给你们一些 example 啊。如果呢，我们找一下 Internet 哦，其实能够找到很多过去Taylor Swift 的一些爱情的一些历史啊，好像打个比喻，他曾经一些比较major 的一些 past relationship. So in terms of Taylor Swift, her life, past development, she has actually gone through various major past relationship, like in 2008 with Joe Jonas, dated from July to October 2008, break up via a short phone call. Inspired songs like Forever and Always and Last Kiss. All right. Actually, I'm quoting all this from AI. So you guys can actually do a very quick kind of Perhaps I will just open it and read with you guys, yeah, if you don't mind, yeah, so that you will know that whatever I say is backed up by facts, right? It's not something that I make up on my own. Yeah. So let's take a look at this AI together, right? I usually will use this AI called the Perplexity. Yeah. So as according to Perplexity, yeah, Joey Jonas was the 2008 breakup. Then after that, she moved on to date Taylor Totler. So met on the set of Valentine's Day inspired the song Back to December. Actually, a lot of her breakups in the past has inspired her to write song. Yeah, right. Quite interesting. Then 2009 to 2010, John Mayer dramatic relationship reference in Dear John and Wolf Koof Shoof. Another song by her, I think, inspired by breakup. Then after that will be like Jake, how do I pronounce this? Ginen Ha. Their brief romance is widely believed to be the subject of her Rick album and the song All Too Well. 2012, Connor Kennedy had a summer romance with the Kennedy family member. Then Harry Styles 2012 to 2013 dated during the Rick era with songs like Style and Out of the Woods believed to be about him. Then Kevin Harris from 2015 to 2016, a high-profile couple for over a year. Their breakup was reportedly amicable. Then Tom Hiddleston 2016, brief but public, backed by laudable media attention and don't know what is that, blah blah. Is it a song? What TS T-shirt? I'm not sure what is that. Then Joe Alvin 2017 to 2023, her longest relationship, much of her intimate writing on reputation, lover, folklore, and evermore is linked to their romance. Then recent relationship, she really have a lot of past relationship. Matty Healy, 2023, lead singer of the 1975. Their romance was short-lived but heavily discussed in the media. Then now, Travis Kelce, 2023 to present. He is an NFL star. Relationship began in July 2023, now engaged as of late August 2025. So really, Taylor Swift, throughout her life, she indeed have a lot of past relationship. And is it coherent with her Bazi chart? I will say yes, because 官杀运杂 means a lot of direct officer and 7 killings are found within her Bazi chart. And this kind of Bazi chart for a female gender who especially have a weekday master will often experience a lot of relationship problems, multiple kind of significant relationships in life, etc. And additionally, as I earlier mentioned, she also is so-called suffering from yin cha yang cho. Is there a way I can translate this yin cha yang cho? It's kind of hard to translate, but let me see if I can find a better way to translate it into English. Yeah, English, so that those people who are more interested to learn 八字 in the English language will be able to identify this 神杀, and this will help them to decode 八字 chart more accurately. I will try Google Translate, yeah, and I can't promise that. It just says by mistake. So I will say 阴差阳错 could be translated as like can I say a polarity mistake? Polarity mistake, yeah. If you have a better translation, do let me know. All right. It is rather hard for me to find the English translation because, to be honest, it's still better to start the 八字 in Chinese language because you will be able to understand the accents of it. Whereas when you use English, sometimes it is rather difficult. Yeah, it's rather difficult. So yeah, so we see that her chart indeed is not one that is good for relationship. Yeah, but due to currently she has entered into the year development of the 2025, yes, that will be positive for her relationship. Will next year be also positive for her development in terms of relationship? I will say yes, due to the fact that Bing and Wu are heavily stems and earth branch that are positive for her day master and also for her spouse domain, due to the fact that we see that her spouse domain is once again having another combination relationship. Whenever we see combination with relationship in terms of spouse domain, something major will take place in terms of that person relationship status. So I will say in year 2025, 2026 are both okay, but in the year 2027, this actually 定位 is a 福音. So 福音 in terms of 八字 tradition is always 哭哭啼啼，不死自己死他人. They will always people who experience 福音 will often have very sad incidents in life, like either close one dying, passing away, or they themselves suffering some kind of sadness that year. So 2027 may not be particularly positive for Taylor Swift. But still, if we are to look at her Bazi chart as one that has needed the wood and fire element, I will say Dingwei may still be positive, especially in the first half of 2027. Yeah. So not to say that is a disastrous year, but will it still bring about certain negative turns of events? I will say yes. Because if we are to look back at Taylor Swift's Bazi chart, the year 2027 is when she has entered into a gunmetal trend likewise. Gunmetal is actually not so positive for her financial development. As mentioned, she's a child that needed the wood and fire element. Gunmetal would actually drain her wealth. So would it mean like after marriage she will stop her career for a while and that will lead to a decline in her income? Possible. But due to the fact that for the past few years, she actually has earned a lot of money due to the fact that she was going through this Mao Wood. Mao Wood is actually her resource factor. And for a Bazi chart that is having too many seven killing and direct officer, the Mao Wood would actually boost her day master strength, causing her to see very positive developments in terms of her career. Well, if we look at the last few years, particularly as starting from 2022 onwards, we do see very positive developments in Taylor Swift's life. She has become a global superstar and she has gone to world tour, having concerts in many different countries and receiving very great admiration from people from across the globe. So I will say, this year, next year will still be positive for her. Indeed, I think like in the year 2025 or 2026, she's going to have another concert, right? Concert in 2025 or 26. So what I predict moving onwards is that she will likely to tie the knot. I mean, she has registered her so-called like engaged. Right now is engaged. Will she hold a wedding in the year 2026? I think very possibly she will. And Taylor Swift actually will have what you call that, another concert soon, I think. Widely circulated rumor about 2026 concert or tour was specifically called out as anyway, I'm not very familiar with her development because, to be honest, I'm not someone who follow a lot of media news or Hollywood news. Yeah, but from a budget perspective, these 2 years are still rather positive for her. So let's take a look at Finissa's comment. But in current context, being a famous singer can also be interpreted as 风月场所。金阳，你问了哈，我就得回答一下哈，得回答一下。其实呢，在我们古代的时候很多八字的古书都说，官煞运杂的女生容易进入这些比较风月场所 这些地方工作的因为呢，他们都会遇到很多男生也是需要很多男生的支持，他们才能够维持他们的工作。So since Vanessa is asking me this question directly, I will have to also answer it. In terms of 八字 ancient text, it is true that it was recorded that for female gender, especially those who have a weekday master, if your chart is having too many seven killings or direct officer, more than two, right, or having three or four within your chart, most of the time you will be engaged in a career that involve serving gender of the opposite gender clients. So to really put it in a layman term, perhaps that female member will be someone who have to perform dance, perform music in front of clients, especially clients of the opposite gender. Very much like the geisha. You know, geisha in terms of Japanese culture, they have this geisha whereby they have to 我们叫做艺妓什么叫做艺妓呢？ Like very much like right, perhaps we will just refer to the explanation of the internet. Yeah, very much like the geisha. So, in terms of Japanese culture, a geisha is a highly trained traditional Japanese performing artist and entertainer known for mastering traditional Japanese arts like dance, music, and tea ceremony. The word geisha literally means persons or persons of the arts. Geisha are professional hosts who entertain guests at banquets and other events with conversations, games, and performances. They are distinct from courtesans, a common misconception, and are required to dedicate years of training, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But some ancient texts even take it a step further by describing this female to be one who will be engaged in trades that are not so in that time not so honorable. Yeah, I don't know how to put it in a better way, but in terms of modern life context, can they actually also be involved with trades that are like serving the people of the opposite gender, using their charm and charisma or musical talents? Yes, that's the same case for Taylor Swift. If we refer to her Bazi chart, is also one that is of 官煞运杂, but we can't really conclude and say that it is like a negative thing. You know, it's all a matter of supply and demand. It's like, to be honest, nowadays who actually sell music, like you look at K-pop, Korean pop band, all of them, what kind of music are they selling? Most of the time they just dancing half naked, and having very suggestive moves. Their dance moves are very suggestive. They wear very sexy outfits. Are they selling music? Not necessarily so, in my own humble personal opinions. They are just selling a kind of attention catching kind of media for I don't know, so that people when they walk past the restaurant, the restaurant has something to show, or like Samsung TV and be able to display all these Korean band and sell their TV, etc. No people care. No one really care about music nowadays. Music is dead. And is Taylor Swift someone who is really talented and musically inclined? I can't comment. I can only say that in the past, there are really very great musicians who really compose very good songs with very, with really good lyrics and musicality. But nowadays, all kinds of music is just about looks. You wear very sexy outfit, attract your so-called listeners with your with your whatever appearance that you have. Yeah. So music is dead. I will say music is dead, but this is our point. If we look at the Bazi chart of Taylor Swift, is she considered someone who is talented? I will say, yes, in a way, she has eating God, right, at the heavenly Psalms, and the day pillar is also sitting on, is also sitting on hurting is also an eating god. Yeah. So yes, in a way, she is talented. And once she's able to enter into decade trend that has a resource factor, she'll be successful. Right. So without being too long-winded, we will also look at the Bazi chart of this guy called Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. So let me try to find out her date of birth from the internet. So Travis Kelce is actually born. What's her date and time of birth? So if you look at Travis Kelce, date and time of birth, she is born in the year 1989 and October the 5th. I don't think I'm able to find her what we call the time of birth from the internet. So I will just give her a random timing. Yeah, I will just I'll give him a random like birth time for the sake of for educational purpose. Yes, yeah. So Travis Kelce is actually born of a Wu Earth Day Master sitting on sheep. And this is a Kuiganga, right? To be honest, it is also a Kuiganga. And is it also one of the? It's not what we call the 阴差阳错, right? He doesn't have a 阴差阳错 chart. But if we are to look at this relationship, I will say that Taylor Swift will be the one who benefit Travis Kelce instead. Because if we look at the Bazi relationship, Travis Kelce is actually of a weekday master of Wu Earth. And given that he's a weekday master of a Wu Earth, of course, we don't have the time of birth, he will need the resource factor, which is fire, for boosting his day master strength. So currently, he's also in the Wu Fire decade, right, from 2023, from 2027. If we look back at okay, if we look back, I mean, very for quite coincidentally, if we look at the relationship of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, also, this relationship started in the year 2023, which is coincidentally exactly the time whereby Travis Kelce has entered into the Wu Fire period, right? To look really closely within his Bazi chart, his Wu Fire period started from 2023 all the way, will last all the way to 2027. And 2027 is also the ending of her current 5-year period of the Wu Fire. So is it coincidentally that 2023 they also started that relationship? Well, Bazi had its own timing. Everything in life is actually developing according to the timetable as listed by Bazi. So it's interesting like that. So if one says that I love oldies and songs during 70s in 80s, yeah, I still love them, like songs by Air Supply, songs by a lot of old singers. I love their songs. Yes, okay, if one say Wu Kui combination, yes, we can also observe that there's a Wu Kui combination within uh, Travis Kelce Bazi chart. And if you have remember in the past, I have mentioned that right, if we are to look at the people who are actually of a weekday master of a Wu will lead at the fire element. So will Taylor Swift chart be beneficial for him? I will say yes. But will his chart actually benefit Taylor Swift? I will have reservation on that part. So this relationship could be one that Taylor Swift will be able to bring greater wealth, greater fame and fortune to Travis Kelce instead of vice versa. All right. And nonetheless, I will still say that, in terms of compatibility, yes, this guy will be benefited from this marriage, but not so for Taylor Swift. I don't think Taylor Swift will be able to, experience a lot of positive development due to her marriage with Travis Kelce, due to the fact that there is actually a lacking of the auspicious element, which are wood and fire, whereby these wood and fire are the elements that are led by Taylor Swift. So while sometimes is a karmic relationship, we marry someone. Sometimes one person will benefit the other, but not necessarily the other way around. Additionally, I will also take a look at their compatibility as according to the 28 stars constellation. So with this 28 stars constellation, it will also further describe the past and present life relationship of two individuals, which I often use for my clients also. Is a whenever I have clients coming to my outlets at City Gate, especially when they needed compatibility analysis, I will also use the 28 stars constellation to check on whether they owe each other in their past life, or what are they meant to, what kind of relationship are they meant to have in this present life. Yeah. So let me write it down, and just for learning purposes. Yeah, just for learning purposes. So in terms of their past relationship, Taylor Swift and all right, I will just write down Taylor and Travis. Taylor is actually having a Mao Su, and then this Travis is actually having a Dou Su. And in terms of their karmic relationship, Dou Su, it is actually a very far apart. It's not a close relationship, it's a far relationship. So in a way, it is what we call unway relationship. Yeah. So what it means is that they are actually not karmically closed. They are not meant to be soulmate in this lifetime, so to speak. So will their relationship be one that is long lasting, one that is fulfilling without problems? I don't think so. Will their relationship eventually experience some kind of turbulence or even divorce? I will say the chance is there. The chance is there. If we are to look back at the relationship, I mean the Bazi chart of Taylor Swift, she's having 子氏 and 丙子 and 丁维 and 癸卯. In Taylor Swift next decade trend, which is starting from 2027, which is of 庚辰, I will say during her 庚辰, all right, this decade trend, she may experience divorce, particularly from 2032 to 2036. Within these 5 years, she has to be particularly careful of experiencing negative turns of events that are related to her relationship or marriage, because we see that Chen and Wei is actually having a Xing. And additionally, 2032 is actually of Ren Zhi. That is having also a water combination formation, right? That will bring a lot of pressure to her day master. And usually, when the day master of Ding Fire is experiencing a strong, because as earlier mentioned, water is her seven killing or direct officer, that would often means relationship problems. She already has too many seven killings and a direct officer within her Bazi chart already. So 2032 onwards, she has to be cautious of relationship problem. So if we are also to look at Travis likewise, if we are to look at like from this 202 2032, which is her which is his 试 fire decade, right? If it is a 试 fire 5-year period, all right, perhaps I will write it down so that it is easier for you guys to, or perhaps I will just use my mouth. Yeah, you can see this 试 fire here, right, where my mouse is hovering over. Starting from there is somewhere starting from 2032 and 2033, there's a transition point there. And this 示发也 will actually be pairing with this Yo metal here to form a metal combination formation. And that will further weaken the strength of the day master of Travis Kelce likewise. And that would lead to relationship problems also. Would that mean like a third party appearing in their marriage? The chances are high because when we see an output factor for a male gender chart, output factor is able to enhance the wealth factor. Wealth factor is often associated with female genders for a guy. So will there be other female appearing in his life, causing there to be a fracture or separation in their relationship? I will say the chance is there. The chance is there. So I don't see this marriage to be a long-lasting one from a Bazi perspective. And they definitely do not share a very deep karmic relationship. So Yvonne says, Master Jason, can you kindly check for me past karmic relationship between Zi, Xiu, what is that? Widowing basket and Shen, Zi, Xiu, Shen, Xiu. Perhaps you can just give me the date and the date of birth. Yeah, it will be easier that way. Yep. So because sometimes English, I don't know which how because the sound of that word, Chinese words sometimes they have similar sound. So best that you give me the date of birth, and I will do it for you privately. Yeah. So that's how we go about decoding about to chat, especially people who have yin cha yang cho within their about to chat. You have to be very careful of relationship problems. And lastly, to be honest, 魁罡格 people or people who actually they are what I call, I mean, in terms of Jarvis, if you look at Jarvis Baozi chart, if you look at Jarvis Baozi chart, he's actually of what kind of day pillar? Is of a Mu Shu day pillar. This kind of day pillar is often for male gender, is often also likely to experience relationship problems because within this she we have Mu Earth like we also have kind of like what we call a companion factor within the Wu yeah. So it would mean it will translate to a situation whereby the female partner that she is with will often have like she will also have a lot of admiration from people of the opposite gender because within Wu, I mean within this she we have Mu, we have Xing, we have Ding, right? First of all, if we look at Mu Earth, their wife is often represented by this Kui water. Nonetheless, within Mu, within this Xu here, sorry, I keep on making this mistake. Within Xu, we have Mu. So it means that an additional guy will appear in his life to compete with him for the attention of this of his spouse, or the affection of the spouse. Additionally, within this shoe, we also see a Ding fire. Ding fire is actually having a clashing relationship with Kui water. So people who have Wu Shu likewise would not see very positive development in terms of their relationship, if we look at it from a Bazi point of view. And of course, it is always my preference to look at clients or even famous people's using their 紫微斗数 chat. If we look at Taylor Swift current decade trend, yes, her career domain is indeed very positive. We are seeing Tianji being paired with Hua Qian and Tianan being paired with Hua Ke. These are the sign of great fame and fortune. Especially Tianji is related to technology. Can I say that part of her success is related to how well she has managed her social media contents, like making videos over TikTok, Facebook, etc. Yes, YouTube, etc. Yes. And additionally, Hua Ke is often related to very good reputation or fame. So yes, currently her decade career development is good, but her spouse domain is actually not having any major stars. That will translate to a situation whereby her relationship all the way till 2031 will not see very stable development. So will I say that even though she's engaged now, this is likely to be a marriage that lasts forever? I don't think so. I don't think so. In fact, there will be more problems ahead, especially after 2027. And if we are to look further into her next decade, the next decade we are seeing spouse domain having Tianfu. Well, actually, Tianfu itself, when being paired with a Tian Yao, it usually will translate to a situation whereby the spouse is wealthy, but the spouse will also love freedom. Tian Yao is always a star that is related to a spouse that would often like to do as he please. So you cannot control, like people who have Tian Yao within the spouse domain. It will be very hard for you to control your spouse in terms of his behavior, in terms of his choices, in terms of who he wants to associate himself with, etc. So it is still like the sign of, like, have to be cautious of spousal issues, relationship, marriage problems, so to speak. And Toro is actually at the opposite domain, but still we are seeing 紫薇 and 七杀. 紫薇 is an emperor star. Well, we will bring about like positive, like social, like good social status for the spouse, and fame and fortune for the spouse. Yes, but we are at the same time seeing seven killing. Seven killing is often a star that will bring about challenges, obstacles, difficulties, and a lot of disappointment, even, right, in terms of the spousal relationship. So I will say this marriage will have its shares of challenges and problems likewise. But I still wish Taylor Swift all the best, having gone through so many heartaches in the past, and that has inspired her to write many sad songs for us. In a way, I still hope that she will be able to find her happiness and have a very wonderful marriage that will satisfy her, her soul, and give her emotional comfort and joy. So this is my take on Taylor Swift's marriage. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yeah, because whatever I share today is mainly for educational purpose, and also have to reiterate the facts that I don't have their time of birth. Their time of birth stated online may not be accurate. So sometimes whatever I share may not be 100% as accurate as having their exact time of birth. But for educational purposes, these are the things that we have to look out for when we analyze our Bazi chart. First of all, to observe the day pillar, whether the person is seeing the polarity mistake, so to speak. I don't know how to translate into English. And what we actually call the 阴差阳错. 阴差阳错 is very often it's a very clear sign of the person experiencing relationship problems. All these day pillars here are of 阴差阳错, or if you allow me to translate it this way, the polarity mistake. 阴差阳错 is often like you marry the wrong person, the one you love is not the one that you are able to marry, the one you don't love is the one you have to spend the rest of your life with. 就是说有情者无缘，有缘者无情啊，这种情况，或者呢，就是说阴差阳错，你喜欢的人刚刚你又他就在外国，然后呢，总之很多阴差阳错的事情发生，让你们两个不能够在一起的啊。那 Taylor Swift 就是有这个阴差阳错的神煞在他的八字里面，那就会直接能够给我们一个信息，就是说他一辈子的感情生活都不会说很美好、很美满，或者让他能够找到自己的灵魂伴侣啊，对不对？叫做灵魂伴侣，你的 soul mate， 这种人通常都很难找到他们的 soul mate 啊，很可惜哈。可是呢，始终她是个很漂亮的女生，那也是能够就是直接的说，她OK 啦，坦白的说了，我个人觉得就是其实我没有怎么听她的歌啊，很多人喜欢她的歌，我可能真的很好听啊，我应该去听一下。可是说她美不美，她是一个漂亮的女生哈，直接来说，然后呢，身弱气煞运杂，就是官煞运杂，肉身弱这种通常都会说。在某程度上，工作上可以用他的一种美丽的样貌啊，给他一个 advantage 啊，能够说走这个可能说娱乐圈，我们现在的 context 叫做娱乐圈啊，这种一些行业了，对不对？当然还是说他还是可以唱歌的啊，还是可以唱歌或者跳舞很厉害啊。我尊重我的很多客人的看法，他们觉得他唱歌很好听啊，那就唱歌很好听咯哈，我就OK 了，他们唱歌很好听。那所以就是我们是这样看八字的了啊，是这样看八字的。那如果从紫微斗数的命盘来说，我们也是可以看得到，他是武曲贪婪的啊，武曲贪婪这种人，他男性本身就是一个我们叫做大桃花星来的嘛，还要贪婪化权，然后武曲化禄啊，权禄在命的人通常都很容易成功啊，通常都有大成功。可是呢，如果用他的这个命宫呢，我们能够看得到呢，他的OK， 对不起啊，他的 OK， 我们再看多一次，看清楚啊。其实他的事业宫事业宫是他的武曲贪狼，所以事业宫武曲贪狼呢，都是代表能够靠着他的个人魅力来赚钱，而且能够赚大的钱，因为他的武曲就是化禄嘛。People who have Wuqu, which is a wealth star within the career domain, and is when it's paired with the wealth catalyst, they are able to earn very great money, become very rich through their career development. And within her career domain, there's also a peach blossom star called the Tanang, being paired with Hua Quan. And she's actually born with Lian Zhen Po Jun at her life domain. Yeah. But if we are to look at the flying star as launched from her life domain or the self domain, which is Kui, we'll be having Tanang being paired with Hua Ji. Tanang being paired with Hua Ji will often means relationship problems. And this Tanang, when being paired with Hua Ji, which is the negativity enhancing star or the challenge, what we call the challenging yesterday we just call it a challenge or difficulty enhancer star facing her spouse domain. At the same time, we observe that her spouse domain is having another negativity enhancer star Hua Ji. So taking into the flying star sequence into consideration, will she experience divorce eventually? The chances are very high. But I still want to wish her all the best. Hopefully, knowing that she'll have a problematic marriage or have a lot of problematic relationships in life, she'll make an effort to find the right person to marry, or actually, make an effort to do whatever she can to sustain the relationship. But still, I don't see Travis Kelce to be a very compatible partner, to be honest. Not a very compatible partner. And in terms of her current year development, current year she's actually going through this decade having 天同太阴 at her life domain, and 2025 both at his her 流年 and 小限. I don't see actually very stable development in terms of her marriage, despite the fact that she has gotten engaged. Because we do see her spouse domain, right? Yeah, spouse domain is actually facing a negativity enhancer star. And next year, 2026, next year 2026 is a better year, right? Having 天机 being paired with 化权 and 化科. So if she holds her wedding in the year 2026, it's actually a much better year. So 就恭喜她啦，就是说不管怎么样，她还是说注册了。然后在明年我们能够看得到她的夫妻宫真的很不错，有天机化权，然后天梁化科，这些都是对感情有帮助的星星哈。我们天机永远都是代表改变嘛，对不对？如果看到天机就是一个遇到化权，就是代表一个好的改变，在他的流年的夫妻宫，就是会带来一个好的一个我们叫做变化。那天梁化科也是代表喜事啊，也是代表喜事，能够得到长辈的祝福，或者呢，他们的感情生活呢，就算遇到问题，都能够逢凶化吉啊。所以呢，这是我们算命啊，我个人算命的方法会比较同时用八字、用紫微斗数，还有28星书同期实算。And this is how I usually conduct my astrological reading using 八字、紫微斗数 and the 28 stars constellation. So hopefully today's teaching will be able to share some light as to how we go about conducting a very holistic compatibility analysis for couples. And Yvonne says that Wu Shen sleeps alone. Wu Shen, yes, Wu Shen is another day pillar that may not be particularly, positive for relationship. Why? All right. Perhaps I will just explain this as the last point. If we look at Wu Shen, especially for female gender, for female, the Jia and Yi or the Yin and Mao will be representing a female gender's husband and boyfriend. So Sun itself will be clashing with this Yin, right? And then actually there's a hidden combination with Sun also. Well, when there's hidden combination is often related to 暗恋，就是那种 infatuation, hidden affairs, etc. 生跟甲跟乙也是一个相冲的关系嘛，相冲相克的关系，所以木生也是感情生活不是说很好了啊。那当然呢，要说到这种 relationship 的东西是无穷无限的 ，there are really infinite topics that we can talk about when it comes to relationship in terms of body reading, in terms of 紫微斗数 reading, or in terms of the 28 stars constellation. I will continue to share with you in my next live video. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you a beautiful evening. Bye bye.